morning everybody, it's Chris here from Student Education with the aforementioned analysis update for the 15th of April 2011. Just looking at the Euro US dollar on our CTC strategy template. Now from daily, you can see that this pair in particular is struggling at the moment. Struggling to break above 14,500. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the 6th consecutive day now where prices failed to break higher than the 1450 mark. You've seen it poke its head above it, but it hasn't closed higher. So resistance wise, this is kind of headbutting itself at the moment, and pretty much consolidating at this 14,500 mark. You can see the uptrend is in play. The CTC strategy is still in favor for longs, and the moving average is all well evenly spaced out, confirming a nice bullish trend to the upside. But this the price has failed to climb higher because of 14,500 being a strong resistance level. Does this confirm that we're going to see a change in sentiment, and we're going to see a pullback occur? Pullbacks, where's the most likely one to go to? Well, we had a prior resistance level just for a couple of days, roughly around this area here, around the 1433 mark, or 14,300. Before that we had one just above the 1422 mark. So ideally the trend line would be the first port of call. Failed to break. You can see this one over here, for example. This prior resistance level is the trend line. So if price failed to break there, then we would obviously need to see a bearish engulfing yesterday's candle, and then we could see further extensions to the downside. So more extensions to the upside would need to see price break and close above 1450. Intraday, you can see that seeding level panning out on a 4-hour time frame. Number of days where it's just failed to break higher than that with significant punch, and because it's done that, we've not seen much taking place. You can see it's still trading above the moving averages, but you can see momentum now is definitely switching. You can see the swings are lower. Unlike this higher swings, these are very flat, consolidating wise. So are we going to see a push to the downside either today or the next week or so? CTC is in our favor. We've got a red arrow, so we've got we've got 2 red arrows now at this area here, but CTC is still not in our favor on a 4-hour. You start looking at the hourly. In 30 minutes, you can see that we've had a pullback, significant pullback during the Asian market session from the 1400 mark. Sorry, apologies. Yeah, 14,500. And what you're seeing now in the 30-minute chart is swing lows forming. So that swing here is lower than that. The swing over here is lower than that. As this one hasn't quite closed yet, but if it closes lower than the 200 period moving average, then it's going to confirm that it's trading not only in the CTC is all in our favor, but it's closing below that 200 period moving average, and we've got to look at other ports of calls to the downside. Ideally 1438.50 would be our long-term target, because we've been in the past, so that would definitely be our long-term target for this pair if price fails to break and close higher than the 1446 mark it's trading at the moment on a 30-minute time frame. So wait for the 30-minute candle to close. If it closes lower than the 200 period moving average, then we're seeing a lot more bearish sentiment creeping into this pair, and we should see further falls to the downside during the course of today. Moving on to sterling, just going to look at the daily time frame. Here again is another pair that's stalling at the moment now. You look at the daily chart compared to what it's been doing recently, it's not great. That's the major resistance level we had this year, support since the beginning of 2011, and now we're kind of consolidating. You can see it's just moving between 2 distinct areas. You can see price action. Initially you can see the highs were getting lower and lower and lower, or higher, but momentum is moving sideways instead of higher. Notice this one over here, definite. So this ultimate one should have been higher than here, and this one should have been higher than that, to show confirmation trend uptrend, but it's just been going sideways. So overall consolidation is taking place above 1600. 16400 is a resistance level for this pair. Failed to close higher significantly. Yesterday we saw a nice big up candle. That's on a 38.2% fib retracement from the initial bounce to the upside for this pair. But you can see that Asian market trading and the European session open has seen price trading slightly lower and consolidating in a spinning top formation. If we see price pull back today, all it's going to do is going to confirm another swing low, and we're going to see price pretty much moving lower at a ceiling level. Ideally we want to see price closing higher than 1640 to show confirmation of further upside movement. If fails to do so, then we should be looking at consolidation or intraday shorting opportunities on this pair. Intraday, you get the 4-hour time frame, for example, pulling back off the 16400 mark. You can see there quite clearly. Still trading. It's still bounced. This is a pair that we've noticed that there was a lot of support at 162500, almost 30 odd hours worth of support at this area here. So a full day of support at this area, and we saw it bounce to the upside. Will this bounce now keep this price moving higher to 16400 and above? Could we see another reattempt soon, or are we going to see price fail to break higher and to capitalize from this bounce and then reattempt the 162500 in the next couple of days? And by doing so, we'll have formed a lower swing to these ones, and we should see price reverting down. Smaller time frames, you can see the 30-minute, for example, all pushing lower. There's that swing low I was telling you about. Trading below the 50 and the 20-period moving average to speak. The CTC is still blue though, however. Still trading above the 200-period moving average. So ideally, 1631.10 is our intraday support area for this pair. And that's last support waves. Trading below that on the 30-minute chart, then we're looking for definite shorting opportunities. But you can see the CTC is still positive. Even though we're trading below the moving average, this would be our last port of call for this pair. So if we can stay above that, then there's a lot of opportunity that we could see a bounce. So just be aware of that. We don't want to be faked into anything. Ideally, we want to see a definite break and close lower. You can see on a 15-minute chart that 200-period moving average is not too far off, but roughly the same area that I mentioned on the 30 minutes. So take that into consideration. We don't want to be faked into any trades. So bide your time. It is a Friday, so we're going to see a lot of people either closing the positions, and if we are short, then we're going to see pretty much a bullish sentiment creeping in because of the selling. Or we could see further selling today and further downside movement experienced for this pair. Next up is the US dollar against the Swiss franc. Let's have a look at the daily. Here again, price is moving down, but not very convincingly. You can see price is starting to slow down in terms of the price range. The start of this downtrend, we saw very bearish engulfing, followed by consolidation and further. And now you can see the trading ranges. We had an indecision and a slow, but a very small trading range. Not very convincing. When you look at Chief overall, it is the ranges are quite small, but the trends are quite great. Intraday trends are fantastic. You can see the CTC is definitely in a negative. This is primarily after trying to break above the 0.92500 mark or 9250, and we've seen swings lower, and it's trading lower than its all-time low. So what we could see is a potential for a pullback to occur and then further extensions to the downside after that break. But I think we saw this consolidation here on this daily where we saw an indecision. We saw price revert to the upside and failure. Now we're seeing the Asian market open, trading slightly higher in the European session open, slightly higher. CTC is still negative though, but are we seeing consolidation taking place? If you look at our hourly, for example, you'll notice that the swings are higher, even though the 20 period and the 50 are still giving this pair. You can see the trend to the downside. So the trend is being tested as we speak. A major trend down. Here we go. Swing low, swing low, swing low, swing low, swing low, swing low. Definite, beautiful trend to the downside. However, we are seeing consolidation taking place. And are we going to see prior support and resistance being retested for further downside movement? It needs to close at least above Mars for definite confirmation break to the upside, or seeing bullish sentiment creeping in. Ideally, to start with, above the trend line. So clearly trading above, in my eyes, this box here. So I'm willing to let the market have all that. So it's got to be trading at least above the 0.898 or higher to close. And once it's done that, then obviously you can see that my potential targets are a lot bigger than they were if they were just doing a break over here. Not going to get much. So if it breaks lower than this, the box at 0.8920, then we're definitely going to see further extensions to the downside. Last pair of the day is the US dollar against Japanese yen. This pair has been playing with the 200 period moving average. I did mention earlier this week that 83.50 would have to be the support area. You can see at the moment now that the Asian close and European session open has seen this pair trading slightly lower. Are we going to see, we need to see price staying above this area to confirm upside movement. Failure to see that, we'll obviously see a breach of the 200 period moving average, which would confirm that it's a negative and we're trading lower, which would confirm that we could see further extensions to the downside. So are we going to see price pull back today, forming another wick, something similar to yesterday's trading range? You could see that for the first part of the morning we saw a lot of selling taking place on the US dollar against the yen, and then during the latter part of the day we saw the US dollar find a bit of momentum against the yen and closed higher. Even though it was still lower than the prior day, it's still higher than the 200 period moving average. However, this morning Asian market has taken it lower, and the European session we're seeing it trading lower as we speak. It's going to be very interesting to see if price could still keep, we can see price closing higher than the 200. If it does that, then it's going to confirm 1, 2, 3, 4 days of support of this area, and we could see further. We could see definitely another attempt at 85.50. So intraday we should be looking for, if you want to take that daily range, the 200 as your stop measure, then price can't fall lower. It needs to be trading higher, than the 83.40 mark, at least intraday, going into the US session this afternoon. So if you put in 83.40, you can see price is trading below that as we speak. That's on an hourly chart. Price needs to be above that. You can see the CT still hanging, but you can see the momentum is down. 50 period moving average acting as a strong resistance level for this pair to the downside. It's so important to look at what price is doing on those specific time frames and trade on those specific time frames. So the same would have to be said. You can see that the moving average now, the 50 and the 20, are moving sideways, confirming consolidation. 200 is still above. We need to be trading above the 83.40 I mentioned, and by doing so we'll be trading above the trend line. And if we're trading above the trend line, then we're going to see definite change in market sentiment. So to start with, needs to be trading above, get above the 83.40, and second, it needs to be trading higher than the Asian market high, in this case at least above the 83.75, and then we should be looking at our potential target, or first target, prior support and resistance level at roughly the 200 period moving average at 84.40 to start with. Failure to find support above 83.40 going into the US session today could see price reverting to the downside, and we should be looking for further opportunities short. That's it for today, guys. I hope you have a fantastic trading day. Hope you've made some great profits this week. Hope you learned I hope you learned a lot from your trades this week, whether they're bad or good. It's important. You can learn a lot from a losing trade, guys. Just take it on board, decipher what you did wrong, and just apply it the next time you decide to trade. It's that simple. Learn from your mistakes. By not doing that, not taking something and dissecting it and finding out how You're able to lose. You will never ever win. It's important. Any of you guys have losing trades and have not sent it to myself or Nikki yet, please do so. It's free. We're here for that. You know where we are, and you can send us all the information at support@sereneducation.co.uk. Otherwise, have a fantastic weekend with family and friends, and I'll see you nice bright and early on Monday morning. Trade serenely.